Good morning, everybody. Crazy Larry here. I want to discuss this morning, continuing the discussion about early Valley Stream, and I'll bring you all up to date. But let's talk today about walking to Green Acres, the Green Acres Shopping Center in general. Back in the day, you had Gimbels as your anchor store on one side, and you had Lanes, I believe, was the first anchor store on the other side of the mall. Which Lanes and Loves were the first two stores on the eastern side of the mall. The western side was Gimbels, and in between you had a lot of stores, and it was an open air mall. And we would go there all the time. My friends, and of course, I would go with my mother to go shopping with her, and we would have lunch there in Gimbels. Gimbels used to have a restaurant on the second floor. Fantastic. I bought all my school clothes at Gimbels. We bought everything at Gimbels. The bedding for our house, our air conditioners, whatever we needed, furniture, we bought at Gimbels. My mother always said, getting things at a department store, they always back up what they sell. So we did that. Anyway, walking to the mall, I would go through Sunrise Highway, and then I would pass on the way Herman's and Floyd Bennett's, which were on Sunrise, on my way to the mall, walk through the parking lot to the back, and then I would come around and I would be on, there's Green Acres Road that ran behind Green Acres. And as you first came upon it, you had Grand Union food store there. And before you got to Grand Union, in front of Grand Union, there was a little area of stores with a Chinese restaurant called House of Chang and G. Freed Carpet Store. We used to go to House of Chang Chinese food all the time there. That was facing Sunrise Highway. Then you walk to the mall, which was behind all of that, and you'd go into the mall, and you'd. When I was young, the first thing I wanted to do was go to Sam Goody's and look at the records. And I remember having a record player that sat on top of my stereo, and I used to wear out the diamond needle, and I'd have to go to Sam Goody to get a diamond needle, believe it or not, which was very cheap in those days. I can't imagine what they cost today. And you'd put the needle in, a new needle, and you'd be able to play the records again. You'd know the needle was going bad, it was wearing out, it wouldn't play right, wouldn't sound right. And of course, I bought 45s there, and you had, after Sam Goody's, next to Sam Goody's, you had a Woolworth, you had a Pergament home center store, the other side of the mall, on the north side of the mall, right there, same area. You had Stride Right Shoes, and you came down a little bit. You had the Nut Hut, and you had Lens, which was a luncheonette with a fire grilling, open grill. You could see from the window, from the out. When you're walking in the mall, you see all the big flames coming up as they was cooking. We used to go there for lunch, and they would give you these cone cups and these metal holders, and you'd get soda out of them. I used to love that. And you get a great hamburger, French fries, and the whole mall smelled from Lens. You had Barasini's there. You had Loft's Candy Store. You had Walgreens drugstore. The only thing that was open on Sunday was Walgreens because they were a drugstore. We had something called the Blue Lure in Valley Stream. The Blue Lure, no stores were allowed to open on Sunday, but because Walgreens had a pharmacy with prescriptions, they were allowed to stay open. And my father and I would walk on Sunday mornings, and we would meet my aunt and uncle there, and we would go out for the day on Sundays, and we would meet in Walgreens in the luncheonette they had. But getting back to the mall, it was in the wintertime, it was open, so you would freeze going from store to store. Everybody would be running and trying to get to the next store. I remembered as school was coming upon me every year, my mother would say, "It's time to go for your school clothes," and we would go late August and get school clothes. She would go shopping, and then we'd walk the whole mall, and it's a memory that I will never forget. In Christmas time, you had Santa Claus. We'd wait in line, and I'd see Santa, and these are memories you can't get back. Today's time is not the same. The malls are dead now. They're not the same. People order online. They order from their phone at 3 o'clock in the morning. They don't have to go to a mall anymore. But malls meant a lot to people back then, especially our mall, which was beautiful. We also had a set of stores on the western side of the mall, a little row of stores with the finest food store, grocery store. And in the corner was a Schlucker's Bakery. Next to that was Ben and Sal's Jewish Delicatessen. You had a fruit store, an Allstate insurance store that was on the corner of that. And that was that little row of stores. And on Sunday, Ben and Sal Jewish Deli was open, so my father would take me for a hot dog before my aunt and uncle came. Those are the little things you remember in your life. The mall was the center of life in our town, and also Rockaway Avenue, which was a couple of blocks from my house where I lived in Valley Stream Boulevard. Fantastic time. The 1960s were an amazing time in this town. Safe. Everybody was happy. I went to school at Franklin Avenue, which is 1 block from my house. Just a beautiful time. I love talking about this. I'm going to be talking a lot more about it. That's a little bit about the mall. I will get into the mall a little more in my next video. But for now, I'm going to sign off. This is just a short little video just to wet your whistle. And then we'll talk about more stores in Green Acres and what I used to do in each store, what I bought, and the way the mall changed. And when the mall was covered, they put a roof on it. And it was 2 floors. It was a completely different era. I think that was in the early 80s or late 70s. Anyway, I'll talk to you more about that on the next time. Take care, everybody.